Al Khafaji.
Thank you very much. And first of all, my thanks to the hosts, to the hosting organizations. Of course, my greetings to the fellow panelists and speakers, and good morning to all excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. So, indeed, as our distinguished moderator explained, my idea is to look a little bit at the global situation. That is FAO's role, that is FAO's perspective, and then to go into some points that are more touching what we are discussing here today. So, as you all know, we are in a situation where even living here in Belgium, you will hear talk about food price increase in energy, inflation. While this is, of course, a pressure here, in other countries and around the world, that might mean life or death for millions of people. And this is the first point that is really to be underlined, the severity, the seriousness of the situation. We have, at the moment, a serious food access problem in the world, and this is important to be underlined. Food availability is something else, and if we have the two combined, and hopefully this will not happen, then the situation will be even graver than it is now. But just to give you an idea about the dimension of what this means for countries around the world when these food prices are increasing, the 61 countries considered the poorest and the most vulnerable had an increase of nearly 25 billion US dollars in their food importation bill between last year and this year. This is putting nearly 1.7 billion people around the world at risk, affected due to vulnerability by this price increase. Now, what is the food price increase due to? There are several drivers. I don't want to go into all of them, but let me mention the three most important. The first one, obviously, is conflict. And studies have shown that 72% of the increase in food insecurity since 2016 is due to conflict. That shows that it is the major element there. Conflict has immediate and lasting impacts on societies, on every dimension also of the agri-food system, which is the systemic, holistic approach that we need to take if we want to tackle the issue of food shortage, but also of food security. So it is clear that conflicts reduce food production, they destroy crops, they disrupt markets, they restrict access to food, and they hamper humanitarian access to civilians, which is also very important in the sense of food security. Macroeconomic disruptions are also there. So they increase public deficit, debt, the currency depreciates, there's a growing inflation. And that diminishes, at the end, the capacity of countries for social protection and livelihood support, which again, in vulnerable circumstances, has a more grave effect. Let me just give you a number, and I don't want to overwhelm you with these, but we've just had on the 12th of September the mid-year update of the Global Report on Food Crisis. And in there it is said that through the end of this year, 205 million people will face the three highest phases of acute food insecurity. So IPC phase 3 or above. The highest number estimated in the 7-year history since this report is being done. And this shift could go even further if we use digital tools, if we increase the link to markets, if we ensure greater efficiency along the agri-food chains, especially if we also involve the private sector, and if we ensure that there's political will and national policies that back this change. From FAO's side, we consider digitalization as one of the core elements for rural development in Africa. We have a number of initiatives about this. The 1,000 Digital Village Initiative that is currently being piloted in 7 countries aims to equip communities with digital tools and services to fast-track rural transformation and well-being. These digital tools can create electronic land registries, apps for our mobile phones to control pests and disease management and improve it. They include extension services that reach farmers that have never had extension reach them before. We are also welcoming, of course, the initiatives that happen in Africa itself, and we are linking to these very strongly. So is it the common market, is it CADEP? FAO is at the forefront of helping with these and supporting them. We have a hand-in-hand initiative that identifies gaps in rural transformation, and it matches countries with partners, and it delivers tangible results. And the idea there is to use geospatial data platform, a geospatial data platform that covers all the data that exists within FAO, but also beyond, and gives a very clear picture on where the best decisions for investment and for development could be. So far we have 27 countries who have joined this initiative. The Green Cities Initiative is also underway in several African cities, integrating urban forestry, agriculture, local planning, another element that is of great importance. All of these initiatives that FAO is doing are country-driven, they're country-owned, and they're highlighting the action that is needed at country level, and that is the important element here. Let me close quickly with 2 points that were mentioned by esteemed speakers before me, food loss and food waste. Food loss and food waste is not only an economical problem, it's not only an ecological problem because it wastes resources, but most importantly, it is a moral problem. With an increasing number of hungry people, we cannot afford to have at the same time food lost or food wasted. So either on the way from production until it reaches supermarkets, which is the loss, or wasted by consumers, by restaurants, by catering services after that. This is an issue that we need to tackle, and this is an issue that is global, and it happens in all societies, paradoxically in the poorest and in the richest in the same, at same levels, and we need to tackle that. Let me, in that aim, mention that the 29th of September, that is around the corner, is the International Day to raise awareness for food loss and food waste. Finally, on the 16th of October is World Food Day, and that day this year has, unfortunately, an even more important role and a more important impact. And there will be, in this week that leads to it and during the week after it, a number of events that highlight that. And we will have the World Food Forum that will focus on youth and how they can be part of this, as well as a Science and Innovation Forum. I mentioned how we consider science and innovation the access point and the tool to improve situations, and as well as a hand-in-hand investment forum where countries will present the first results of what their collaboration through the matchmaking with other donors is bringing on the ground. All of this is happening in Rome, in Italy, in the week 17 to 22nd of October, but most of it will be online, and of course if any of you has the luck and the chance to be in the beautiful city of Rome, even better. I close with this. I close with this, and I thank you once more, and I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to talk here. Thank you.